What's up, YouTube? It's Joe from Mercy Morphs. On this week's episode, we have a quick update of what's been going on around here. We have not been 100% honest with you guys. If you guys remember, a couple weeks ago, I was on Morph Forge, the 100th episode. Thank you guys again for having me, John, Jason, and Jamie. That was fantastic. I enjoyed your show. It was awesome, guys. If you have not tuned in, please go to their channel and check that episode out. It was a good time. Really enjoyed it. But if you guys remember from that episode, I mentioned there was one girl that had laid one egg for me, and she was in the process of laying the rest, and I was going to collect them after that episode. But yeah, let's get into that. Be right back. Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just want to thank everyone for tuning in today to this video. We are officially at nearly 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is absolutely amazing. You know, it was a goal we had set for, a couple years ago, but hey, we're still here trying to get to that goal, and that's the key. But yeah, thank you guys who like our channel and are watching us grow. We really appreciate the support. We love everyone sharing our videos. We love everyone commenting on our videos. We try to answer everyone's questions that are leaving comments as well. We really appreciate the engagement, and that's the whole point of doing this. We're learning. We're trying to teach other people as well from our experiences, and I think we're doing pretty good. But yeah, let's get into this video. So you guys will notice there's a couple empty tubs behind me. I am doing some tub swaps, cleaning some girls, so those tubs are down in the basement ready to be washed. But yeah, the purpose of this video is that day that I was expecting that girl to lay a clutch. She had dropped one egg. She was about 4 days early, okay? And so she laid that one egg, and I waited. There was no more eggs after that show. So I waited to the next day, still no eggs. But I was like, sometimes they lay an egg, and they lay the rest a few days later. It happens. I've heard of it. It's never happened to me. So I was a little bit, nervous, but I trusted the process that it was going to happen. All right. Then, if you guys remember my video from last week, I did clutch number one, which was a fantastic pairing. Again, with my Pastel Blade Clown Het Pied, bred to my Ultramel Triple Het Boy, Hypo Clown Pied, before he passed away. God rest his soul. And she also went to my Leopard Possible Yellow Belly 66% double het for Monsoon Pied, with great pied markers. But fantastic pairing there. But this girl still had not dropped her eggs. I was getting a little bit nervous, a little bit stressed out. Couldn't quite figure out why she hadn't laid her clutch yet. But I started giving her some soaks, some nice warm baths, trying to get her to drop these eggs. I can see the eggs in her. There was two clear lumps in her belly. I'll try to post a picture, one of these sides here, maybe down the middle. But you guys can have a look and see what it looked like. So I kept giving her, soaks, and another day soak, another day soak. Still no eggs, still no movement in those two lumps that were there. Okay? So I tried, palpating a little bit just to see if I can get it to, maybe the one egg was stuck, maybe I can get it to move. The egg on the top would slide up and down, no problem. Free moving. The one at the bottom, I could not get it to move up or down. Okay? So, a little bit of panic set in because I had a bit of PTSD from my very first clutch at Mercy Morphs, where my spider girl had got egg bound, and I was told it was a one-off. It'll probably never happen again in your entire breeding career. The odds of it actually happening on your first or second clutch, I can't exactly remember, was like unimaginable, and that's probably the worst thing that's ever going to happen to you in your entire career. But I, was starting to realize it's happening again, guys. Second time that this would be happening in our ball python breeding career. And how do I deal with it? And what did I learn from the first time? Okay, so what I did was I took to YouTube just like the rest of everyone else here. I'm sure you're watching videos, you're trying to learn stuff, you're trying to figure out what's going to promote your ball python breeding, or any breeding that you're doing. And try to learn from everyone else's experiences so you don't make the same mistakes. So I did end up finding one video that it was a longer form video, but it was something that was very full of information, very, very good instruction, and it was from a source that I trusted. Okay, guys? And I want to give a big shout out to this person whose YouTube video I was watching. I had reached out to them after watching their video just to see, if there's any lessons learned that they didn't share within the video that they want to share with me, okay? That one person who I reached out to is Shane from Small Town Exotics. This guy is fantastic for our community, guys. If you guys don't know him, please go check out his channel. I'll try to post his logo here so you guys can easily find it. Follow him on Instagram. Tell him you follow Mercy Morphs and you really appreciated the advice you gave me, and just his wealth of knowledge and experience that he was willing to share with someone he's never even met before was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, big shout out to Shane, Small Town Exotics. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, watching his video, he went to basically everything I was doing. He was soaking the girls in warm water. Nothing was happening. He was trying to palpate the female. Nothing was happening. Putting high humidity in the tub. Nothing was happening. So as a last resort, he went to the aspiration method, okay? So I'm not going to show you guys how to do that here because, I'm days past doing this procedure. I wasn't sure exactly how it would turn out. But with my background in nursing and my comfortableness with, handling a needle, handling a syringe, and, inserting a needle into a living animal or living being, I was pretty comfortable with doing this technique. If you guys haven't, Shane does a great video showing off how he does it. Go check it out if you guys are ever in this situation. But I was able to aspirate 25 milliliters, so 25 cc's of liquid out of these 2 eggs, okay? Now, the reason for aspirating the eggs is to try to shrink the size, okay? Because these eggs, when they're large, and sometimes they get stuck in the canal and they can't quite get out, okay? So I aspirated these eggs, took off quite a bit of fluid, and the one egg, after I aspirated it, I still tried to move it, and it still would not budge. And I took off a lot of fluid, guys. Like, it went from, a good size down to maybe half. Should have easily been able to pass this, but still would not move. So I said, I'm going to leave this girl overnight. I'm going to see how she does. So I did just that. I left her overnight. I came back the next day. She still had not passed the egg or any of the eggs the next morning. I gave her a quick soak in warm water before I went to work. And when I came home, I noticed that there was a bulge towards her tail, okay? And I got very, very excited. So I, helped a little bit. I palpated and I was able to see the end of the egg sticking out of the cloaca. And I was able to grab a little tweezers and pull that egg out. Very, very, very excited, guys. Got one egg out. Minimal trauma to my animal. Absolutely excited. But the issue is the other egg was still there and was still not moving. So what I did was I gave her another day. I let her rest. That was a lot of work. She, she'd been in labor at this point for 8 days. She was exhausted. I didn't want to overwork her. I'm learning from my past experience. The stress of all this, just takes a toll on the animal, and they just don't make it in the end. So I did not want that to happen. I wanted to give this girl the best shot possible of surviving. Talking to Shane, at this point, it is just about helping the mom survive. It is no longer about the eggs. If the eggs were to come out, the odds of them still being viable without oxygen is very, very slim. So it was literally just a recovery mission at this point. Try to save the mom. So I left it another 24 hours, came back the next day, and the same thing. The eggs still had not budged. It was just, one more egg. You can see a lump in her upper abdomen, maybe 5 inches from the cloaca opening. So another thing Shane had done in the video was put on gloves, obviously, put a little bit of lubrication on his finger, and was, just inside the cloaca, helping to stimulate, some contractions, or, help see if he could feel the egg to help it out, to see if maybe the oviduct had become twisted, which has happened. It's quite common of why females become egg bound is the oviduct actually twists. Okay, so I found one oviduct. I was able to feel around, but it was the wrong one. Okay, the egg was, I could feel the egg, but I knew I couldn't go around the egg, so I knew I wasn't in the right oviduct. So from there, I switched sides of the cloaca, trying to find the other hole, and I could not find the opening. So after searching for a little while, I was able to figure out where the opening of the oviduct should have been, and I could feel a little bit of an indent. And my wife with smaller fingers, she's also a nurse by trade, so she's very comfortable with manual manipulation and what have you. She put on a pair of gloves as well, and she agreed that was would be the right spot for this cloaca or this oviduct to open. So she, with her smaller fingers, manually circled the hole, and eventually it became large enough that it was open. Okay, so what we think is either it was a birth defect and her ovarian oviduct did not open all the way, or it had become twisted at the end and nothing could pass through. Okay, so once we got this open, we were able to get our finger up there, and you could feel the actual egg itself, and you were able to circle the egg. And as we were circling the egg, you were able to manipulate the egg towards the end of the cloaca, where eventually we could see the end of it, and we were able to extract that the remaining part of the egg. Okay, so that is a long story, guys. That is what would be clutch number 1 for 2026, but we did count the other clutch as clutch number 1. Out of this first time mom, we got one egg that was viable that she had dropped the day of More Forge podcast. And unfortunately, obviously, those other 2 eggs had gone bad. We extracted them. There was hardly any fluid left in the egg itself. Those were disposed of. And I'm happy to say the mom is now 3 days since we got that second egg out of her. She is still recovering in her tub, doing well. It does not seem like she has any ill effects of anything we had done. She's passing stool, she's drinking, she's urinating. She has not taken a meal yet, but when I compare it to the first girl we had to egg bound to this girl, it's night and day difference in the way they're acting, the way they're reacting, the way they're moving their body. Fingers crossed this girl is okay. And we do have one viable egg in the incubator right now, which we'll probably cut on the same day because the clutches were all laid within a day or 2 of each other. So we'll probably do like 2 egg cuttings in one day. But I just want to let everyone know that technically we've got 2 clutches on the ground this year. I wanted to let you guys know of our experience that we had and the great support we got from Shane Kelly at Small Town Exotics. Thank you, Shane. Reaching out to you, you didn't have to help me. You didn't even have to respond. I really appreciate it. If you need anything ever, you just reach out to me, and I'll help wherever I can. I promise. But yeah, guys. So that's today's video. I'm not showing off any snakes. I'm just letting you guys know, my experience, what happened over here at Mercy Morphs. I am trying to be 100% transparent with everyone, and sometimes it's hard to share these things, especially when you don't know the outcome. Okay, so this girl still is not out of the woods yet, but fingers crossed. We're 3 days past. She's still, no ill effects. She's doing her thing, hanging on the tub. I do have her on paper towel just in case, there's any bleeding or any discolored fluid that starts coming out. I'll be able to pick that up right away. But so far, so good. But yeah, so that's our experience, guys. What is it, 5 years breeding now? And 2 egg-bound girls. So is it that uncommon? I don't know. Maybe just people aren't talking about it. Maybe I'm just unlucky. But that's my story, guys. I hope it helps someone. And I hope this girl survives, Even, I'm happy I got 1 egg out of her, but most of all, I am happy she is still alive. She'll probably end up being a pet now. I don't think I'm going to, risk her life again. It was unfortunate, but I think right now the best scenario is happening. And yeah, so guys, 2026 clutch number 2 is on the ground. It's 1 egg from a Enchi Mojave Het Clown girl that we bred here in house, makes us our official breeders, and bred to our yellow belly Dinker Het Clown male. We'll see what comes of that. We got 1 shot. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we get something with some Dinker in it we can pick out and hold back. But yeah, we're gonna call it our hero egg. All right, guys. That's it for this week. I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for subscribing to our channel, following our journey, and just being there. I'm sure this video will help someone at some point in their journey. And if it does, leave a comment down below. Let us know. Hit us up on Instagram. We really, really appreciate it. Until the next one, guys. Joe, Mercy Morphs. Peace.